Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Just now the two new reinforcements have just been unveiled, and they meet expectations, to be fair. They do. So I'm just going to go straight into it. It's the ARC Trooper, so the Advanced Recon Commando, and the BX Series Droid Commando. Now, I was expecting these two, to be fair. I would have preferred to have a Republic Commando, but I feel as though an ARC Trooper is probably more suited towards this. Obviously, the normal clone commandos were very much more special units, as like the ARC Troopers are, don't get me wrong, but the clone commando is a bit more special and the ARC Troopers are more widely used. So going straight into this, I gotta say, both the ARC Trooper and Droid Commando look absolutely fantastic. The ARC Trooper just looks absolutely phenomenal. A nice mix of some officer gear, the camera, the rangefinder, a lot of shoulder padding, all this stuff, which looks great. Along with the BX series Droid Commando, which just looks phenomenal, absolutely spot on. With the details and everything, it looks great. I cannot wait to use these guys. But go straight into the details on the ARC Trooper. This is a gung-ho attacker which rushes into battle wielding his trusty DC-17 pistols. Therefore, guys, he will be using two DC-17s. He'll be dual wielding them, which is going to be great to see. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be interesting. So you fire them independently, so it'll probably be like R2, L2 on the PS4 sort of thing, which is going to be great. So you can essentially double his fire rate, which is pretty cool. However, moving on to the abilities, obviously these pistols are short range, so something that's a bit more versatile, so it's a bit better for the distant foes, is this ability called Power Blast. Now this overcharges his primary pistol to fire a powerful blast, giving otherwise short to medium range arsenal a bit more of a ranged attack, which can be useful against vehicles, and if you aim your shot correctly, it could even be very high damage to enemy villains too. So for additional battle awareness, the ARC Trooper also has his helmet scanner. Now, a cool feature here is that it actually lowers his rangefinder, which is great. Just those small animations, which is really cool. So this emits scan pulses, even through walls as well, to locate enemies' whereabouts. Now, something to bear in mind here, guys, is that every scan will be, so the time between each scans will be longer than you see an enemy actually lit up for. So essentially, after a period of time after you scan the first time, you won't be able to see them again until the next scan pulse, basically. So that's pretty cool. You still need to be very aware of where these droids are, so do take caution with this and use it wisely. And lastly, his final ability is a shock trap. So this isn't like a shock grenade sort of thing. It won't like slow you down, it won't stun you or anything, but it will unleash like an electrical current, which essentially knocks you down to your feet as the enemy, which is pretty cool. So it says here it's going to be useful for both flanking larger groups of enemies and for tipping the scale in favour of you and your allies. So it could also be used for tactical retreat as well, but overall this does, as it says here again, make an excellent addition to the clone army. It looks phenomenal, the abilities sound pretty cool and unique, and what is a nice touch is that the majority of his abilities are very different to the Droid Commando, so always nice to see something unique there. For the ARC Trooper, I'm very happy with this, it looks great. Moving on to the BX Commando droid though, it has a modified E5 blast rifle, which is obviously the standard default weapon we see used as the droids in perhaps Naboo or just other Clone Wars maps, which is pretty cool to see, and that is actually what they used anyway. So the modified blaster essentially kind of covers longer ranges, but the Commander droid also wields a vibro sword, which is pretty cool because you see them use that quite a bit. So the vibro sword can be used as the melee, but if you use the melee or another ability called Sinister Strikes, you will have up to 3 sword strikes in a row essentially with this melee. Apparently the ability doesn't deal much more damage than a regular trooper's melee, but the final strike actually knocks an enemy to their feet and perhaps even a bit more damage. I don't know, I think it would be good to see that. But either way, it's pretty cool. It's nice to see that they're getting the vibroblade in, which is great, loving that. Additionally, they've got an ability called Smokescreen. So this is where they throw a smokescreen at their feet. The surrounding area will immediately be filled with a very dense smoke that even removes basic UI elements, so you won't be able to see their name tag or their health bar or anything like that. So you will be fully disappeared to your enemy, which is great. They can't see you can escape, very useful here. So again, it could be used very nicely in sync with his final ability, which is Thermal Vision, which basically does what it says on the tin. It's kind of like Bosk's ability. They'll be able to see thermal imaging. Essentially, you'll be able to see where your targets are, which is nice to see. So it also actually scrambles enemy scanners as well, which is really good. So enemies won't really be able to know where you are, which is great. If you pair the two up with the smoke screen and the thermal vision, you can deal a lot of damage here, tactically wise as well. Going to be fantastic to use. It sounds lethal, honestly, it does. So some very nice abilities here for both the Commando Droid and the ARC Trooper. They both look great. They sound like a shed load. They sound like a shed load of fun to play as, honestly. And I can't wait for the 26th, honestly. So they're 5-star cards, so it'll be a level 30 job as well. But you've got Evasion, which is the first one, which allows you to have 1 extra combat roll and faster recharge times as well. So if you make it epic, that will be a combat roll recharge time probably increase. That unlocks at level 2. Also unlocking at level 2, you have Desperation, which reduces the ability recharge time when damage is dealt to you, which is actually pretty cool. Interrogation, forcefully reveal nearby enemy locations by defeating an opponent using melee strikes. Very interesting. I think that'll be more useful for the BX Droid Commando. That unlocks at level 5. Also at level 5 is Acquisition. Enemies dealing damage to you will temporarily be marked for easier retaliation, which is pretty good. I think as a commando unit, these are great. And then lastly, at level 10, there is Stalker, which is regain health when defeating an enemy you have revealed with a helmet scanner or thermal vision. So this is almost kind of like a health on ability card, which is pretty cool. Something else to point out actually with the droid commandos though as well is when you use thermal vision, their eyes actually glow and light up again. It's one of these kind of animation sort of just nice effects that they have, which is just absolutely fantastic to see. I'm so excited about this, guys. I really can't wait. The next CT will be detailing the large scale mode fully. I can't wait for this. I'm hoping we can get it either later this week, but it's likely next week, honestly. But you'll just have to stay tuned, honestly. We'll have to wait. But these reinforcements sound incredible. That's it from me today, guys. Thank you all very much for watching, and may the force be with you always.